Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. I'm sorry I'm so late in getting this share up, but I'm going to do my August layout share for you. So this is one I just did one day. I was working on something, trying to make it work out. It didn't really work out. I didn't record it, but it's just documenting my daughter's first walk that we took, and I used a little bit of embellishment and was just kind of playing a little. I was kind of in a funk, and so this really helped me get out of there. So there's that. This one I created for, I believe it was a Spiegel Mom Scraps layout, scrap lifting, something. I'm so sorry guys, it's so long ago now I can't even remember. But here's this one, just of Sean and Nora, and happy talking to Daddy there, and some journaling, mixed media, banners, and some fun stuff, little by little collection there. This was my scrap lifting of Daisy, who is a fellow sparkler on the Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop, and I love the way this turns out. Very clean and simple, and not something I normally do, so it's a little almost outside of my comfort zone, but I like it, and I think it still very much says like my style, so I was okay with that. But I really love this layout. It's one of my favorites. This was definitely a Spiegel Mom Scrap layout, and I love this too, documenting our trip to the beach, Canada Day of last year, and did some mixed media. This was scrap lifting Cat B, I think it's Benjamin is her last name, and that was really fun. I put a bunch of sequins on the hearts and stuff and went to town, and I love the way this one turned out as well. Here is one I was just doing, and it's always be yourself unless you can be a bunny or a mermaid. So I thought that was pretty fun, and I just have these two cute photos of Nora that I wanted to get scrapped. This was for our Obsessed with Nature episode, and I had this really beautiful photo of my neighborhood and then another one of us going for a walk. And so I was inspired by the photo and was able to create my layout accordingly, and I just titled it The Wild is Calling. Did a little bit of stitching, a nice cluster right here, and called it good. I really love the way this one turned out as well. I think it turned out really nicely actually. So there's that one. This was one for Stuck Sketches. I applied for the design team and I did not get in, but that's all good. I did this one for my video for that application. But it's these two photos of this little boy right here is the last member of our family of the kids. So we snapped a photo. We're missing one kid in this, but I love this photo. So just how as they grow up, I hope they have a really special friendship because they're all cousins and stuff. So a mix of product there, a lot of little by little though. This was for the last episode I participated in the 6 degrees of scraplifting. I'm not doing that anymore either. I had my couple turns and it was fun, and I'm ready to move on, but I was the one that got to create the original layout, so this is what I created and I love it. My sister had knit this beautiful blanket for my daughter, and I really wanted to document how special that was and how touched I was that she did that, because that was a lot of work. But I really love the color tones to this layout, and this was one of a piece of pattern paper. It's 2 6x6s, and I had been hoarding it for a long time, so it was nice to get that used up. And this was scraplifting Caddy Miranda, so this is for Spiegel Mom Scraps, and just my kids with some Snapchats. And my son always, when I go to take a photo, he's always says smile and say cheese, because that's what I tell him, so he says it back to me, and it's just kind of talking about that funny little moment in our life there. This was for the Stash Bash episode for August. It was to use stamps that I failed miserably in. But what I ended up doing was taking these clear stickers from the Amy Tan collection, and I represented stamps with that instead. So pleased with that. And this is Jackson holding Nora, and this is for his album, documenting about his sister, and then I did one for Nora's album about Jackson, so her brother, and that was in about 2 months ago, I believe. So now I have one of each. And this was the announcement we did on Facebook when we knew that Nora was coming, and so I called it Big Brother Alert Arriving 2017. And this was Scraplifting Shamel, so again for my Single Mom Scraps episode, and she shared it on her own page, which on her Facebook page, and that was really touching. I was so shocked. It was so neat. But I really, really love the way that this turned out. And this is using Dear Lizzie collection, and then just a little tiny hint of her Shamel's collection as well. So I love this one. This one makes me happy. I really love the way that turned out. This one is Snow and Laughter, and this is for my lift and sketch that I do with Rachel, and this is what I ended up doing for the month. She picked a really neat sketch, and this is how it turned out. I love the way this turned out too, nice and tealy, and it definitely says snow to me, which is the whole point. And it's just, I had a few photos taken of this day because it was such a big snowstorm, so this is just kind of another representation of that, and I used all those pretty sequins, so love it. Here is one I just did for the fun of it, and this is using the stuck sketch from the 15th of August, and it was a vertical line, and it worked really perfectly with these photos, and combining everything. And I've wanted to use this pattern paper for a long time, so I was really pleased to get that used up. And it's just the first photos of Sean and Nora together, so her meeting her daddy, and I love this layout. It's really cute and precious, and there's pink even though there's daddy, and it all works though because it goes in my daughter's album. And here's one that I forgot to stick this part down. Okay, so sometimes when you create things, you start with one thing, realize it doesn't quite work right, and it's not really the right touch, and so you print it in black and white, and then you forget to stick it down. So I'll go back in with tape and stick it down. But this was something fun that I did with Christina and Megan, where there was this layout we saw that all of us really loved, and we all took on that layout and scrap lifted it. So it is going to be kind of like the new version of Scrap Liftable. We're going to start it coming up in October, and we're going to do one a month, so stay tuned for that. So it's kind of like the new and improved Scrap Liftable. So I'm really excited, and I hope you'll start enjoying that series. But this is kind of the first introduction to it. We didn't really know we were doing a series until we did this, and we're like, oh, it turned out so neat, and we all turned out so different, and we all have really different styles, but you can see where the original layout was inspired by all of the layouts. So I love the way this one turned out. This is a re-scrap of a layout I had done a few months ago because I just wasn't happy with it, and now I'm happy. This is perfect, and it's the last photo of us on our way to the hospital for me to deliver Nora. So this is our last photo of us as a family of 3. And this one I also really love. I love it. So this was for Scrap Lifting Jen Scow, and I'm using a fall collection even though these aren't fall photos. And I just love these 2 photos of my son up close, his eyelashes. He has the thickest eyelashes. But really what it's talking about is how much he's loved, even though he knew there was changes going on, and he knew something was happening in life and things were changing, but we just want him to know that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Nora's here. We love him just the same. Nothing's changed. He's still very important to us and all of that. And that's kind of just like my note to him about that in my little journaling, and how precious he is to me. And that's how this turned out. But I was really proud of the way this one turned out. So this is again one of my favorites of the month. And finally, our obsessed for August was to scrap lift this photo of my daughter. I shared it with all of the girls one day, and they're like, I want to scrap this. And so we all decided we were going to scrap lift Nora. And this is how mine turned out, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it's pretty neat and fun and playful, and I did a lot of hand stitching, but I think it's fun. I'm really pleased with it. So there you go. The month of August was busy, just like the month of September is busy with all these sketches. I hope you've been enjoying everything. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Not too shabby. If you have any questions, just let me know. Bye, everyone.